Let's move on because we got to get to the meat of this. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not and has never been anything that he has pretended to be. Arnold is one of the boys from Brazil. Has anybody ever heard of the boys from Brazil? See, y'all weren't paying attention. Arnold is one of the boys from Brazil. I suggest that you get that movie starring Gregory Peck and Sir Laurence Olivier. For one to understand this, we must do as in-depth a retrospective of his life as we possibly can, given the fact that, like Kaiser Soze, he's protected from on high by the Prince of Darkness himself. Arnold, as everyone knows, is the son of a Nazi mother and father. He has been theorized to be a child of eugenic breeding programs conducted by the Nazis, in which the SS officers were mated to pure Aryan females. Thousands, and I mean thousands of births occurred. His roots can be composited by analyzing his circle of close, intimate friends, like director James Cameron. Director James Cameron did the Terminator series. You ever saw it? Yeah. Director James Cameron did Aliens. Okay. He, director James Cameron, like William Friedkin, the director of The Exorcist, Part 1, works with the CIA, NSA, covert subliminal mind control experiments that they purposefully imbued in their movies. The Exorcist was an experiment in mass crowd mind control. When you get the original version, it has essentially all types of subliminal, subsonic embeds of terror, of murder, of pigs squealing as they're being slaughtered, as gorillas crying out, children. All these things were put at sub-audio level during the times of the horror scene, and that's what cranked up the horror in you. Now, they're doing it, the same thing, in your rap music. It's done in the rock music. You don't see or you don't have any control over the final product after you put it down on the tape. But after they take it and they hook it up, you are saying all kind of shit underneath words that you know you ain't had nothing to say. You didn't say those words. That's why Cameron is about to re-release Aliens. Like Friedkin re-released The Exorcist. What was that about? To test the pulse of your susceptibility to mind control. Because thousands, millions of people went to see the new version of The Exorcist with new clips that they had put in. Anybody see the new Exorcist? You saw it? Did you see her going up the stairs backwards like a spider? That's a real disease. It's called tardive dyskinesia, where your body twists out of its natural shape. In other words, I could touch my back of my head with my ass. Tardive dyskinesia. And if you take the drug and you don't have it, it will give you tardive. Okay? Arnold, an airhead weightlifter on drugs with a Nazi family, just so happens to marry right into the Illuminati bloodline. Accident? I think not. Arnold, his whole life has been orchestrated from early on. His reputation as a very ambitious man is nothing to do with it. He did not have all this much ambition. This persona was the front to cover the fact that his life was being groomed for leadership. That's why they had him study acting like Reagan to condition him for performing before large populations in the world stage. An actor essentially is a liar. Let me say that again. An actor is a liar. His job is to make you believe what is not true. So he marries the niece of an Illuminist bloodline, one Maria Shriver, John Kennedy's niece in 1886, which equals 6, by the way. Now, one has to remember that John Kennedy's father, Joseph Kennedy, now listen carefully now, we're going to connect the dots. Joseph Kennedy, the patriarch of the Klan, was the U.S. ambassador to Nazi Germany in the 1930s. And he openly supported the Nazi cause, like Bush's grandfather, Prescott Bush. Are you getting the picture yet? By working on Hitler's behalf. It was Kennedy who worked on Hitler's behalf in an attempt to not, listen carefully, in an attempt to not get the United States to get into World War II. Like Ronald Reagan, he, Schwarzenegger, also had extensive CIA and Nazi connections before even entering politics. Arnold campaigned for Kurt Waldheim when he ran for president of Austria, the home country of Hitler. Waldheim was later banned from coming to the United States due to his Nazi affiliations, but was an honored guest at Schwarzenegger's wedding. Okay? He had been heard calling Waldheim Uncle Kurt. Check his movie Twins, listen carefully, where you see the story of his life as a boy from Brazil. A child of an experiment in eugenics. And the movie Junior, where he played the role of both his mother and his father, and himself in the Nazi eugenics program. And check how he played both movies with Danny DeVito. Danny diminished, his complete opposite. To amplify his Aryan ego and send a message to the viewer audience that these are experiments that will be conducted in the future. His first movie brought him to Manhattan as Hercules. He gave praises to his so-called Aryan, Hun, Germanic roots, playing Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. He showed us his superiority against the black man by defeating the alien in Predator. He showed you that he could erase from your mind. He showed you that he could erase from your mind, your memory and your feelings, any reactions to his first generational association with Nazis now and in his past by feeding you true lies to distract the nation from the larger goals of the Illuminati. But wait a minute, like your girl Josh Stone made up and said. Who produced the flick? CIA. And what was the flick about? No, that was Collateral Damage. Ah, yes. He was undercover. He was working as a regular family man. Even his wife did not know. Right? Came home every day, chilled, and that was it. And what did his wife say after he was wiping out all these Arabs? I married Rambo. Remember? Then the wife became that. Ah. Oh. See, already we got you with Total Recall because that was the California recall. Oh yeah. We're just telling you his plan, his life has been mapped. He's giving you stories that was conditioning you to love him in all of the situations that he had, because he has now convinced you that he can overcome anything that you say is the obstacles to your path. That's why this jackasses invented him up and delivered him up as governor. Look who they put there. They put a motherfucking midget. They put a prostitute. They put some clown with a nose on it. They got, who else? It was a circus to distract you. Perfect. Perfect. And as your governor, Terminator, you are about to witness the collateral damage to California now that the running man successfully won his race for political office. California is in for a big chill now that Mr. Freeze is in town. But he's not done yet. He wants to be president. Nonsense, you say. Well, you made him governor. That's easy. How did he become governor? Well, the selector elite met with him at Bohemian Grove. He's a member of Bohemian Grove. Robert Schultz, former Secretary of State, gave Arnold the go-ahead. Schultz told the San Francisco Chronicle, and he also gave Schultz also gave Bush the green light to become president after they met at Bohemian Grove. But to be president, they say that you have to be, the first thing you have to have is the Jewish vote. You have to be a natural-born citizen, of course. You have to have and be part of the bloodline. So how does the son of a Nazi and the current friend of a Nazi get the Jewish vote? How does he even marry into an elite bloodline unless he is also part of an elite bloodline? And they're trying to minimize his true Nazi roots. I don't even believe that the father they say he had is his father, just his surrogate. That he was told the same way the boys from Brazil were handed to surrogate parents to raise. Well, here's what you do to get the Jewish vote. You pay them off. It's very simple. Every film that you make, you tithe a percentage to the Simon Wiesenthal Center. Then you get a fellow illuminist like the director of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Rabbi Marvin here, to defend Arnold, saying he has no connections to any Nazis, or that of his father and his mother. He can't help what they were. This is a Jew saying this. Or is it really a Zionist?
Okay.
Big difference.
Thank you.
And I told you before that the Zionists were working with the Nazis to set up where? Israel. All told, you give about $5 million to the Jews and you get, are you ready, the highest award that the Simon Wiesenthal Center could give, the National Leadership Award. Hold on. The National Leadership Award in 1997. Imagine Jews giving Nazis National Leadership Awards. And how do you work out the sticky little point about being born a citizen when you want to run for president? Simple. You just get Representative Darrell Issa of California to spend $1.5 million to put the recall election on the October 7th ballot, and you get elected governor. Then, with your chops salivating, you get an old friend named Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, and I want you to see how they have mapped this man's life in a movie called The Demolition Man. The Demolition Man.
For quite some time now. I have in fact perused some newsreels from the Schwarzenegger library, and that time that you took that car.
Hold it.
The 28th Amendment. How they have mapped this man's life in a movie called The Demolition Man. The Demolition Man.
For quite some time now. I have in fact perused some newsreels from the Schwarzenegger library, and that time that you took that car.
Hold it. The Schwarzenegger library?
Yes, the Schwarzenegger Presidential Library. Wasn't he an actor when you...
Stop. He was president?
Yes. Even though he was not born in this country, his popularity at the time caused the 61st Amendment, which states that...
I don't want to know. President.
What's going on? Did anybody ever see Demolition Man? All right, put your hand up. Who was he fighting? Who was the baddest motherfucker at that time? Wesley Snipes. Your hero, your more. Right? He didn't take no shit because you were coming into his country. All right?